I've made several videos to raise Asperger's awareness. Now I'm calling on you to give constructive suggestions about what we can do about the lack of support in the USA for adults with Asperger's syndrome. I need your input, your ideas, response videos, and suggestions. Should we write our congressman? Should I start a website to raise awareness and to get support? What do you think? I'd like to hear from you. Let's work together for this cause. Have you been turned down for developmental disability services because you weren't diagnosed before age 22? Are you frustrated that's what's being asked of you would have been possible because the Asperger diagnosis has only been in the diagnostic manual since 1995? I need your help to troubleshoot this issue. Let's have an open forum here on YouTube. Let's talk about why adults with Asperger syndrome need support. We get overwhelmed with social situations, we get overstimulated, we get overwhelmed in general with a lot of stimuli, and many of us are not able to work at all. Some of us are able to work part-time with the proper support, and a few people can work full-time. Now how, I'm not quite sure. I used to do it, but it burned me out really fast. So there are many government-funded programs that do not allow job coaching for Asperger's adults, and it's troubling. We need to work to support ourselves. This is good for the economy, good for the community, and good for America. I'd like to share a little of my personal story. I had a developmental disabilities case manager for a year and a half until my case was reviewed and I was told that I never should have received these services to begin with because I wasn't diagnosed before I was 22. Now, since the diagnosis has only been around since '95, to meet that criteria would be impossible for any adult with Asperger's syndrome, and we need to be served. But I was told that to be grateful because I fell through the cracks in a good way. Then I was referred to mental health community support. This works for me because I'm also bipolar, but what about adults with Asperger's syndrome who do not have a concurrent mental illness? What becomes of them? As far as job coaching is concerned, I have a part-time job. Now, if, of course, Asperger's existed before 1995, I would have what's called a community resource trainer, which would give me 3 hours a month of support. Instead, I'm eligible only for 2 phone calls a month, when my workload responsibilities have just doubled, and I'm panicked about it. So, I've been overwhelmed and had a hard time concentrating without Ritalin, and Ritalin makes me moody, but I have no choice but to take the Ritalin right now because I don't have a support worker to help me cope with all this. And I worry and I feel discriminated against because of the unfair criteria for DD support. I do have an excellent support group for adults with Asperger's syndrome that meets once a month that I've been a member of now for 3 years. And that's very helpful, but I'd like to get professionals more involved in helping us in the professional ways that we would benefit from. And isn't it logical to include us when the criteria that they're using doesn't consider that our syndrome is not even made official until 13 years ago? If you agree with me, please help me come up with solutions that will help us all. What do we need? Again, response videos, comments, suggestions. Do we need a website? Do we need to write our congresspeople? What would help the most? I appreciate all your support. Thank you.